Welcome to today's show. We just had birds falling out of the sky. We just had Bill Gates' company release, or say they're about to release, 2 billion mosquitoes down in Florida. And now we're being told that spiders are going to be parachuting from the skies. And of course, they don't want us to be suspicious because this is everyday normal activity when we're having genetically modified mosquitoes released out onto the world, and when spiders are suddenly falling from the sky. You might say, Cole, is that science at work? Well, if by science the first thing you think of is an experiment, then yeah, I guess so, because we're the experiment. This is a production of your government doing this to its people. But in the name of science, they'll tell us that spiders just suddenly are showing up from Asia, apparently hopping on what are they getting on their own jet airline coming over? They getting on a boat? They're like, you know what? I'm sick of it over here. I really want to try some of that New York style pizza. I'm going to get on the next boat out of here. You guys in? Yeah, we're in. We're in. No, this is what our government does to us. This is the type of experimentation that's been done at Plum Island. And of course, people think that this is all crazy, kooky stuff when diseases appear out of nowhere, you know, kind of like the one that just did supposedly appear out of nowhere. Take a look at what is coming to the East Coast in America and tell me, how in the world can people not be suspicious of who's doing this and why?
It was already one of our greatest phobias, arachnophobia. The fear of spiders. Now comes the Juro spider. Native to Asia, it was first spotted in Georgia nearly a decade ago. They've since spread across the southeast, with some using their parachute-like silks to travel in the wind, others hitching a ride on cars. Researchers say these multicolored friends are now ready to make a bigger debut. Because of their higher metabolism and heart rate, they're able to survive colder temperatures. So a new study at the University of Georgia predicts the Juro spiders will make their way up the East Coast this spring.
Look what's invading the East Coast this summer.
It's unclear how far north they'll go, but they'll be hard to miss, growing up to 3 inches long. End to end, that's as wide as your palm. Their imposing webs in bright yellow, blue, and red coloring give most folks a serious fright. But the experts want to reassure us these guys behave more like the beloved Charlotte.
My name is Charlotte. Charlotte A. Cavatica.
Than the giant queen.
People are going to have to learn to appreciate spiders because this spider isn't going anywhere. They are actually very, very timid. And it turns out they're more timid than most of your native spiders.
Despite those reassurances, the spread of the Juro spider is just the latest insect invasion turning heads. Last spring, it was a blanket of cicadas. Well, they created plenty of commotion. The cicadas are supposed to be here. The murder hornets, spotted in 2020, and the Juros are not. So what exactly is going on with these invasive species?
Global economy is translating into a global biota. So as ships leave foreign ports, they bring containers to this country, and those containers may have objects inside that are housing or providing refuge for invasive species. So that means we're going to have a steady stream of new species winding up on our shore.
All right, bottom line, even though they look scary, Juro spiders aren't a dangerous threat to humans or pets. In fact, it's unlikely they'll even bite you. And if they do, we're told their fangs aren't long enough to break through skin.
Oh, I feel better now.
So there's your silver lining. Experts also say
the silver lining?
if you walk into one of their webs, and they say that's very likely because they're huge and going to be everywhere, the spider will likely run away. It's not going to bug you.
So parachuting spiders falling from the sky. New 8-legged neighbors will soon be parachuting toward the East Coast as the Juro spider begins making its march towards the region. Almost if you say Joro too many times too fast, kind of sounds like something else. Maybe the ones who possibly could have released it. The invasive species, dubbed parachuting for its distinct look and mode of transportation, has already begun making its mark in the South. Is expected to begin migrating north according to a newly released study. And of course, there's conflicting stories about this, right? USA Today is telling everyone to flee the East Coast, whether they're trying to use humor or not. Other articles are saying, don't worry about it. They're great for the environment. Other ones are saying that they're poisonous and venomous. What do you expect from the mainstream media, right? You can never, ever get one story that's actually factual. It's always this or that, a give and a take. There's nothing, that's the thing. It's like news is just supposed to be, this is what's happened today, or this is what's going on. Here you go. Dissect it how you please. Instead, it's, no, you should be fearful and panic. Oh, you shouldn't. Well, how about we just ask the question of where are they coming from and why? And why did one of our government-funded organizations work in Plum Island, putting diseases in animals for experimentations? I mean, why were these things, washing up on shores and nobody saying, you know what? This is a problem. Where was PETA? Don't they like to show up to this crap? Another fraud organization. They like to show up when people wear fur coats, but they don't want to show up when suddenly, animals are mutating on the shores of Connecticut and New York. No? Then they move, of course, Plum Island. The experiments there, they move it to Kansas because, of course, well, what goes on there? Oh, well, that's where they make a lot of our food. So how convenient that they're doing experiments right around where they would be making our food. And, they experiment a lot with chemicals. Interesting. And what's going on Plum Island now? Well, Plum Island is getting ready for a power grid shutdown. That's what they're doing over there. Yeah, they're doing experiments and real-life simulations of the power grid getting shut off. In other words, they're preparing for it because, well, it's probably coming right from them. And you might say, why would the government do this? Well, the government likes to use silent weapons. I think one of the first 10 videos I made was about silent warfare. Silent warfare is when they can engage in warfare with their civilians and get away with it because they can blame it on things like, what? We control mosquitoes falling from the sky? No, that just naturally occurs. We've, in all the years of existence, we've all seen mosquitoes parachuting from the sky. Apparently they can parachute now. That's literally, I'm about to read to you. They're claiming that they can parachute. What? They're probably dumping them in the chemtrails from the sky is probably what they're planning on doing. But in all the years of existence, this is something that's not normal, but now it is. And silent warfare has always been used to go after citizens because you can't point a finger, right? Oh, they claim the mosquitoes they're releasing in Florida, which they did the 150,000 last year. Now they're doing 2 billion, pretty big increase. And they'll say, people are getting sick and all that stuff. They'll never point a finger and say it's from mosquitoes because they claim the mosquitoes don't bite that they're releasing, which means they don't eat, apparently. And I mean, just make up the most ridiculous stuff they want because the people believe whatever they hear. Well, that's Bill Gates. He's a billionaire. He should know. Yeah, billionaire monsters, all these people. So the same people who have brought you wonderful things like Lyme's disease at Plum Island will probably be the ones who have their names attached to this. The invasive species, again, called the parachuting spiders, the Juro spiders have 2 ways of travel. This is serious, by the way. I know you're going to laugh. They have 2 ways of travel. By hitchhiking a ride on humans or cargo, or by ballooning up and generating silk threads that can be used as parachutes to use the wind to traverse the environment. Even if this was possible, I mean, have you ever seen a spider at your house and it just ballooned up like a blowfish? No, pretty sure you're not. Okay. And all the history of experiments in spiders, not sure anyone's ever come across this because, well, it never existed until apparently now. Apparently, of course, because they'll just be dumping these things on our society and spreading them out into the world. And, I'm sure they'll bite and they'll have something like Lyme's inside of them, something new. Because you can't really blame the 1/9er right now. They'll blame something else. And something else and something else. And continue to depop and continue to come up with magic potions and all this stuff to give people to make them better from this or from that. And the zombies will continue to take it, of course. But no one's ever heard of spiders ballooning up. But even if they could, let's say hypothetically a spider can balloon up. Let's say it's true, spiders can balloon up and parachute. Okay. How far is that trip from Asia to the east coast of America? That's a hell of a trip. Spider's going to get hungry along the way? There a rest stop in the middle of the ocean for him? No? Can they make it that long without food? I mean, we're talking, probably talking a couple weeks, right? Via air, floating in air. What if they fall into the water? Can't a lot of them just die if there isn't a lot of wind? Huh? No? Yes? Do we want to stop it from happening? Can we put up a giant net in the ocean then if this is really happening? Why would our government want this to happen if they're saying it's going to come and it's going to happen? Scientists are saying it. We're supposed to trust the science, right? This is according to scientists, folks. We're supposed to trust the science. So let's trust the science. All right, this is going to happen. How do we stop it? Oh, right, we don't. We don't stop it. Gotcha. And then when a mysterious, like the whole thing we heard with the bat, right? When something mysteriously happens with the spider, there'll be no one to blame but nature. And that's how silent wars work. So they say that Juro spiders are native to southeastern Asia. The yellow and black bug began to spread in the south due to its welcoming climate nearly a decade ago, and now they threaten to continue spreading further down the coast. According to the new research, it's believed that the spiders can now exist in a cooler climate, making any potential migration north a possibility. Oh, I guess, can we blame that on climate change? It looks like the Juro could probably survive throughout most of the eastern seaboard here, which is pretty sobering, says Andy Davis, the lead author of the study. People should try to learn to live with them. If they're literally in your way, I could see taking a web down and moving them to the side, but they're just going to be back next year. He seems to know that they're going to be back next year. Maybe somebody told him, right? Something else they were telling us that we got to get used to living with for the rest of our lives, right? Now we got to get used to living with these mysterious spiders that are showing up and not be suspicious, of course. And then they want us to be nice to the spiders and take the web down and move them to the side, because that's what people do when they see spider web. We all just go up to, hey, a spider web. Let me grab my scissors and cut it down like it's Charlotte's Web here, and let me carry the spider over. I won't take the risk of getting bit by the spider because spiders do bite. No. And if you do, and he says, look, move them to the side, but they're coming back. They're coming back. You got to know something to say something like that. Spiders can grow up to approximately 4 inches. That's pretty big. Although there's no data that the fast-moving species pose any threat to the environment, it is unclear what caused the spiders to travel across the globe from Asia, though researchers have pointed to possible shipping containers that were shipped to the U.S. Oh, is that a possible conspiracy? Maybe they got bored over in Asia. They got sick of the food, right? I mean, what could have possibly caused the spiders to travel across the globe? Ooh, me, I know. Our own government. Yeah. That's who. And just wait until we find out what's in these things when they come. They probably won't even tell us, right? They'll say he's got smallpox from the bite, It's Lyme's disease. They carry Lyme's disease conveniently, just like the ticks from Plum Island. So there's no reason to there's really no reason to go around actively squishing them, says Benjamin Prick, if you want to call him that. A co-author of the study said humans are at the root of their invasion. Don't blame the Juro spider. So there's more sympathy for this. Let's have sympathy for the spider. The human is to blame. Why not? The humans are to blame. The white people are to blame. Black people are to blame. Everyone's to blame for everything. All the horror, except, of course, the government. We never seem to blame the governments of the world for any of this stuff. Or secret societies, Masonry, World Economic Forum, the other meetings, Bilderberg, G7. Okay. The Juro spiders are indeed venomous, in case anyone's wondering, making them a threat to certain insects, though they are unable to penetrate human skin. Yeah, we'll see about that. Researchers noted that the only way the species would attack a person or pet is if they feel threatened. Oh, well, that makes us all feel better. Because, would a spider be threatened if a human was walking at it with a broom? Or if a human was just walking by, might feel threatened. But we should, of course, learn to live with them, like learn to live with the other thing. Humans are the risk. Humans are to blame, because we're the real threat. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. I don't know how much more I can take of reading these articles, listening to these things, covering it, because it's just, it's aggravating. It's so ridiculous that they get away with this stuff. Silent warfare is what it's called. They've been doing it with insects, with animals for a long time. They've been doing it recently with something else, with the silent warfare.